like, let's just get that out of the way. If I ever say 5 minutes, know that I intend it to be 5 minutes and that it also feels like 5 minutes. Usually, in that proverbial 5 minutes, I realize that it has indeed been far longer. But there's really nothing you can do, especially on Twitch. So like I can just well, maybe I could have went in the chat and been like, hey guys, it's gonna be another 5 minutes. I don't really know how that works. I want this light to be purple so it matches my outfit, but it seems like I thought it was broken, but it seems like only the blue of the RGB is broken inside my light. So we're just gonna turn up the moon setting. Real moon colors. Nice. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine. I'm like obsessed with organizing stuff. I don't really know why. I don't know. I guess it could be OCD or something, but I just fucking love the way things are organized. Fucking dork. This may look like a regular Coke, but I actually put a little bit of Peach Clearly Canadian in there. Oh my god. Clearly, it's Coke with a little bit of peach fairy juice in it. What's up though? We're gonna take it slow. We're gonna just probably not even do tarot tonight. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I all day. First of all, slept for most of it. Second was thinking like, damn, I got so much shit to do today. Because I did and do have so much. I only got like half of it done. Probably gonna do stuff while I'm on here and not tell you what I'm doing. Because it's so much stuff I have to do, and that's how I'm like, I don't think I can do tarot. I'm exhausted. So it brought up a few points for myself of like how I did like a 7 hour stream with a bunch of dead people, and then I stayed up for like 24 more hours, if not actually probably more like 36 more hours after I had already been up 36 hours. You know what I mean? Whatever. Maybe it wasn't that long, but I'm doing the math and it like maybe it was only 48. Either way, yesterday I passed out immediately after that stream. And I don't know if it's because we were talking about sleep, we were talking about dreams, or lately I feel like there's people draining me of my energy, and when I'm low energy, I'm drained easier, where like certain people will literally think about me all the time is one thing. But if they're concentrated on me, I'll literally pass out and have to fucking take a nap, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Today was like fucking 40 minutes. And then I woke up and was like, ah, yes, that makes sense. Okay. Crazy, crazy. But some stuff is so exhausting and other things aren't so exhausting. Part of it is the PNDD. So, like, I'm 5 days out, probably about 5 days out from this mixtape dropping. And it's lethargic. It hurts. I like stood up today and was like, I yelled because my legs were just like, fuck that. But I ended up cooking anyway. And still showered and got myself dressed and got ready into the stream and did a little bit of the work that I needed to do, and a lot of it I didn't do. A lot of things I didn't get to. Um, I've never been too hard on myself about that. You gotta take the small wins and the small accomplishments so that you realize how quickly they add up to being something huge, right? So even doing the bare minimum is like, yo, I maintained my bare minimum on a day where I didn't want to. That's amazing. Very cool. So it's partially that things on the stream really exhaust me, but it's also partially that the period's coming. The body's prepping to be shut down for at least 4 days, basically, and it's like starting to shut down. Slowly gonna get 444. 4. Yeah, I'm slowly gonna get less and less effective. Brain power depleting, physical energy lessening, will to live slipping, grip on reality loose. You know, um, It makes me tired. Oddly enough, one of the things that's keeping me going is that my creative brain is still very active. And like a lot of the time, I would say I'm blessed with that. But most of the time, where I'm affected in this way of like, beep, beep, and wanting to create, it's all the morbid stuff I've done. It's like all the evil fucking writings and like the fucking sick shit and the bloody paintings or whatever. Like it's all dark. Um, but now in this week, this month, this season, this year of my life, this point in my journey, it does feel more like feels more like the creative energy is still wanting to create something magical, if you will, um, rather than something dismal or morbid. Like despite having the intrusive thoughts and the insecure sort of uh, self doubt, instead of just the regular acknowledging the random possibility of failure as much as you could with success, right? Despite it, I'm pushing through, and it feels good, but it's just like disruptive thoughts, like working on something and be like, are they gonna hate this? And then be like, dude, this shit is dope, and you know it. You did great. Relax. Like, why are you even bringing it up if somebody doesn't like it when you know they like you and they hired you to do this for a reason? Crazy. Like the self doubt just comes up, and it's like I'm a little more capable of talking myself out of it these days. It's a increasingly hard task that's going to last for pretty much the rest of my life. Would you look at that? Let's run an ad while we're here and no one's really listening. What's up? Where did everybody go? Wait, I mean, I left first. I wasn't kidding when I said 5 minutes, except for it was more like 15 minutes, but I'm still back. Where did everybody go? I guess this is a perfect time to just be doing whatever I need to do, right? Probably true. Um, is it because I said I'm probably not doing tarot tonight? Never was. I want to hear. Right. Sorry. Guess I'm gonna fucking smoke about it. Like some incense. Empty this. Oh, one of these days, ain't it peculiar? You're gonna find. No, you're gonna call my name, then I'll be gone. I'm gonna tell you something that I ain't told no one before. That is, if I can stop dancing and get myself off this ballroom floor. One of these days, then it'll be love. I was really suppressing that. Hi, you gonna talk to me, or am I gonna scare you away by saying that? A lot of pressure when there's only two people in the room, and one of them is silently lurking. And they're like, "Yeah, and I'm out." Just kidding. I don't even doubt you. I don't even doubt you. Well, welcome. Not much going on right now. I was just saying how like I might just be too tired to actually do tarot today, and then I spent 10 minutes talking about why. But I'm open to questions, uh, tarot related or otherwise, and it's always a pretty interesting conversation, whether it's philosophical, controversial, or straight up fictional. There's always some interesting stuff going around here. So for now, I'm just ripping the bong and about to do some stuff that you can't see and aren't gonna know about just yet because it's fucking quiet. If I get in the mood to draw cards, you'll know because it's gonna go from this pink box to the little turquoise box. Chat will move over here and be like, okay, she's actually doing tarot tonight. You don't have to put it loud. I literally just admitted that I'm not even saying anything. Thank you. Thanks. Sorry. I'll be like that, huh? Welcome back. Isn't it funny how you can see that I'm like so pure love and light, love, like lovely, wonderful, amazing person, but then you also are like, yes, I do remember that time we met, and you really are the person I thought you were then. I just didn't know you had the right, like who knew I had a good side? You obviously, but yeah, not like I showed it. And it won't be long. Hey man, I used to have way more bad days before I knew what the fuck I was doing about them. Guess what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing about bad days. Let me tell you a little story. Picture this. You're sorta stuck where you are, but in your dreams you can buy expensive cars and live on Mars and have it your way. Um, Depressing, but understandable. You spend like so many hours a day with me. If they decide to end it before I do, come on back. And if they bore you, you know that I'll always be interesting and hot and cool. Okay, Jeff Winger. Um, I'll miss you. I didn't say hotter or cooler or more interesting. I just said that you know I will be hot and cool and interesting. Not comparing myself. I'm an Aries, Mercury, and Venus. Thank you very much. Those placements are loud as fuck. Drowns out my Mars and Pisces for sure. You would not even guess. I am a Taurus. April 26th. Yeah. Okay. See ya. I'm not even doing tarot tonight. I'm not even missing anything. I'm literally like, hey guys, I'm gonna just do some work and I'll talk to you if you feel like talking to me. I'm fucking tired and out of it today. Try to fucking clean this ball again. I think that's the one thing that like rolling as we're packing is that thanks. This was a nasty end of the bowl thing. So have fun. I will be here until the sun comes up most likely. So happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Um isn't it wild how we once lived in a world where TGIF was on broadcast network television and people can't seem to even notice that we are like a like coming off of a fucking Christian bender. Like Seventh Heaven was just like evening public broadcast, or I mean, yeah, right. I don't know what channel that was on, but I didn't have cable growing up, so I could watch that. Like, what network was that? And then like ABC had TGIF. Literally, thank God it's Friday. Like that was just the norm. The WB and the CW. I should have known this was fucking Warner Brothers. What the fuck? That's so fucking funny. How did that show last until 2007, bro? 2007? From 1996 to 2007. Your favorite show could never do 11 fucking seasons. 243 episodes of none other than Seventh Heaven. That is mind blowing. That blows my mind. How did they have 11 seasons? I like remember it so well, but like there's no way that I was like smoking weed and trying to have sex and learning about rock and roll and simultaneously keeping up with Seventh Heaven. That just was not, there's no way that was happening. So I just never finished the show. But the way that I could recite so many episodes and still name like all of the characters, crazy. I never even finished it. That's wild. That is wild. So, what's up anyway? My only chatter is like, hey, can't talk. Everyone's feeling quiet. I don't even think that's a problem. I'll probably sit here and, like, I've said like 3 times that I was just going to do some stuff. Part of it is drawing and doing some scratch pads. So maybe I'll just switch to the art category so that I'm not expected to talk spiritually. Because honestly, I'm pretty exhausted, and I feel like dead people are the only thing that don't exhaust me, but I'm too exhausted to talk to them right now because it'll kill me. You know, I can't be like on the verge of death and go fuck around with that. So, I am taking questions as always when we're in chat mode, but everybody's sleepy and has other plans, and it's a Friday, and yeah, I don't care. I don't even really need to be streaming right now, but I just am anyway, so embracing it. They were like, we're getting you back for having so many viewers this morning, yesterday morning. Now you have cool. Thank you, Twitch gods. Appreciate it. Super cool. um, I'm just joking. I can talk to myself. I think that's the thing is like an element of like embarrassment that comes with being able to just sit here and stream even when no is talking to me, and it's probably because I'm so used to making videos, um, like pre-recorded videos rather than live streaming, and having that practice makes it so easy for me to talk to nobody or to people who aren't talking back to me. One of them I know is sleeping, the other one also probably sleeping. Who knows? I hope my voice is like a nice, soothing tone for you to fall asleep to, if that is what we're doing. I wish that I could. Um, yeah, I lost. Oh, good, good. You're the only one still holding on. I thought maybe the other viewer I had was my partner sleeping with it on, and they left. So either the computer died, or or it wasn't them, and it's just a boring ass stream. So yeah, I mean, thanks for picking up your head once again. I hope that you're feeling really relaxed. This is a great time for meditation. Just relax. You know, when I was a kid, yeah, it's like a quiet ass cold. It's because it's so cold, I think, is why I'm tired. It was up in the 20s um, for a minute, and now it's like back down to being one digit. And it hurts. Like, it makes me lethargic. It's like, yes, PMDD. Yes, being exhausted from everything that I do. Yes, not getting the sun and other things that I need when for enough fresh air. But the cold hurts no matter what you're doing, no matter how you take care of yourself. It I think that's maybe I will just hop on the art category and do some scratch pads, but not yet. I'm gonna make some stuff first. If it pops by to fucking talk to me. When I was a kid, whenever I was trying to fall asleep and I couldn't, I shared a room with my sister, and we had like a fucking TV in there, like a 10-inch, non-cable television with a VHS ejection. But she was a lighter sleeper and I was a heavier sleeper. But I've always been a night owl, so I'd be like, I'm not fucking tired, I can't sleep, tossing and turning all night, and I'd want to watch TV for hours. And a lot of times I did, but there were nights where she's like, turn this funky shit off. I cannot listen to this while I'm trying to sleep. So there'd be nights where I'd just be like, all right, I need to just put myself out somehow. And I don't know why or how it started. I feel like it was because people would tell me to, count sheep, right? And I was always like, I could visualize the sheep and I'd count. I don't know if counting really worked, but it just kind of got created from there. And I wonder if the sheep are like the guides, the clouds, right? Like that's kind of a cute concept. It's always been a concept, but to think of it more literally, mhm, where once you get the sheep to stampede is how you open a portal, right? So they jump and jump and jump, and some people fall asleep during the process of counting the sheep. But I would just get to the point where I'd be visualizing them, and I'd get up to like 101, 102. And once I break that point, I literally thought, like, I don't know, I'm having like this flashback moment to being a child. I thought that'd be a lot of sheep. So I just look over and like see the sheep. And it was like at that point where I realized like I could picture anything. And I think at that point is when things were happening to me, in me, around me. Especially this is like dream sequence part two. And hopefully being only 25 minutes in, people will at least tune in for the replay on this. But um, I also still have Seventh Heaven pulled up. That is so fucking hilarious that that show lasts for 11 fucking seasons and had 243 episodes. Your favorite show can never. Crazy. Um, Not saying it's my favorite. But anyways, so hey, are people tuning in? I was just trying to help someone get to sleep just now. So I was telling them a story about how I would the way that I started lucid dreaming, basically, because building on the stream last night where we were talking about dreams, but not super in depthly. Talking about how even in my youth, I transitioned from counting sheep to being able to manipulate sheep in a field, and that's how I got in, I guess, when I was like 8, which is weird to say because it's like got into what, and it's like, yeah, well, watch the other stream, and you'll know. So very cute stuff. Um, I really like it. I like this. You're gonna call one day, and then be gone. And I ain't told no one who that is if I can stop dancing and pick my whole self off this bottom floor. One of these days, we'll home. um, then I'll be gone. Got a little distracted. So, once I realized the sheep could just be in a field, so I wanted to be able to visualize 100 sheep. Why was I making them jump over the fence? I literally just, it was just one of those things. I looked to the left. Well, it was on the right, honestly, because they were jumping from the left to the right. And it seemed like they were coming from nowhere, right? Just a fence. And so when I realized that I already had to picture the fence and the sheep and the clouds and the scene, that I could picture anything. I think that's, yeah, I'm gonna light this incense too. I think that's when I started lucid dreaming, right? Like, and that was just the method that I used to fall asleep. So then I was like, okay, fuck sheep. I guess I was a really psychedelic child. I don't know if you can really pin it all on Kate Bush. I think the cartoons we watched were super trippy, psychedelic kind of animations, and whatever. That's like is what it is. Um, but I guess it was also religious, would be a note to add because I would pray before bed too. But I've always been an artist. I've always been psychedelic. I wanted to be a hippie for Halloween for like 3 years straight from first to third grade, I think. In third grade, I was something else. I don't know. I think maybe I skipped a year, fourth grade, I was a hippie again, something like that. Fourth and fifth grade, I don't know. I used to just be like, I just want to dress up like a hippie because I knew when I got older I would dress like this. So I was like, if I can be anything, I'm gonna not be a child for one day and just dress how I want and wear this like psychedelic looking vest. I remember both of them. One of them was like hearts. It was like black with rainbow hearts on it. It was super cute vest and bell bottoms, flared pants. The other one was like the more cliche. You've probably seen it, the bold colors Party City, like thick hippie costume. Same idea, vest with flared pants. Still a fucking fit though. Like I would still rock the second one. The first one, sure I would, in different texture. But the other one, like it's a classic. I would definitely fucking I would wear that. Being gonna call my name. And then I'll be gone. That song and episode 1, season 9 of X Files have the same energy. I mean, yeah, that's accurate. So, anyways, once you picture the sheep, say your prayers. It's like the perfect combination, right? And so go there. And about Kate Bush, but then I was thinking about this cover situation. It's so funny. I was like imitating the way I would have to do covers of some of the music that I like because it's such extreme and barely music that you would just have to make it like somehow weirder than it's already like so weird. I can't remember what Kate Bush song it was right now, and I don't know why it popped in my head. It was probably something off the Dreaming. I think that's why it's coming up. Where I was just like, damn, these songs are so intense, and she's so young. It's just, I don't know, she's just a very brave, cool woman. Um, Same with Laurie Anderson. So anyway, the dreaming. Once you realize you can picture anything, you don't have to be limited to the sheep. And the reason I brought up my taste for psychedelia at a young age is because I chose not to envision, you know, like, I don't know. There was a time I would, it must just be sort of like having a photographic memory as much as it is learning how to lucid dream. There was a time where I would just be like, oh, I'll just play an episode of my favorite TV show in my head to try and fall asleep to. And then I'd be like, meh, I'm bored. I literally watch TV all day. I'm going to do something else. And so my go to ended up being like envisioning patterns. Like that was why I was talking about my taste for psychedelia. Is like I would just envision different patterns. And I think that's why patterns appealed to me as a kid. Even um, not sure. I feel like I was most likely somewhere between the ages of 6 and 8. But I always feel like I was a little bit older when I started consciously having lucid dreams, but probably not when I started lucid dreaming. Um, but it's crazy because it's a skill that I developed like over so much time. And so when people ask me like, "How do you lucid dream? What's the best way?" Like, I don't even know where to start to explain that to you. Hey, I'm glad that y'all are here. Holy shit. I've been, listen, my homies on here being supportive, but also falling asleep. And that's been the vibe, is me talking to myself, knowing that I'm trying to put somebody to sleep. Not like I am in charge of it, but like was like, yeah, let's just do that because there was just not shit going on. Lady, when I'm with you, I'm smiling. Give me all of your love. I'm very sorry to hear. It's one of those nights. It was just exciting to see you all here. I can babble about whatever the fuck I want at any point. That's kind of the joke I made earlier. It was like, I don't need anyone to talk to me. It's just certainly a lot more interesting, I think, when anyone does. But I do have the ability to just talk to myself or a crowd of one or knowing not to say anything back. Kind of ridiculous. So sorry to hear about that though. Sickness is real as fuck. Totally sucks. Sending you. Uh, I just sound like a little beam of like health and vitality to you. So I hope you got it and I hope it helped. Don't got much more for you. Hey, so you're just a night owl now or what? It's the weekend. It's a little boring on this stream right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I started like doing other stuff and got distracted. Was not even paid. Like I don't even know. But then I was just talking about going more in depth about how I'm getting my lucid dream and stuff, which is always an interesting topic. One of these days, baby, you, yeah. Yay! It is relaxing here when it's not like totally overwhelming, exciting. Um, Nice, thank you. That's what I was just saying, is that one of the only people that was the only person who was tuned in was like, I'm gonna go to sleep. And I'm like, cool. Let me talk about the process of dreaming. Like, okay. It's wild that the way I can get so chill is almost concerning, just as much as the way that I get so excited. The intensity is literally fearsome. And I love the dynamic, the range, the spectrum. Am I on it? Probably. Am I it? Absolutely. Works better with those kind of snaps. So, what's up though? How are y'all feeling? I probably won't do tarot because everybody's sleepy tonight. It's like not the vibe. Oh, and forgot about ads. We got 3 minutes. Even though it seems like when they say, oh, if you don't play your ads in 3 minutes, we're gonna pre-roll ads for you. Sure do. Everyone's always like, I don't know, I'm not getting any ads until I manually play them. So I really can't figure out what the fuck the timer even means. But I can't, well, I could risk it, but I don't want to risk finding out where it's like, okay, now the hour's up, and then the pre-scheduled ones in this hour are gonna, I don't know. So we have a couple minutes. I'm gonna roll some ads. And when I come back, like just pretty much just chat. You can ask me anything. We can talk about anything. I just don't feel like doing cards or putting in too much effort. I can continue to be super sleepy if you all just want to go to bed. I can even grab a book while I'm gone. I actually have a selection of books right here. You guys want me to just read to you, or let me know during this quick commercial break? damn, I really love how a couple people were like, I can't take it anymore. Listen, I don't know if I've ever had a macadamia nut plain until right now, or realized it, because growing up, my grandma would buy nuts, and we would like sit there and crack them, you know. And I don't remember ever cracking any macadamia nuts. And then, like, usually when you buy mixed nuts, there's not macadamia in them, but you usually get Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are kind of my favorite. Four. Boom. Um, but then, I really like macadamia nut cookies and everything with macadamias in them. But just now I ate one, just like pure fucking macadamia. Holy fuck, it was so good. I was blown away. I was like, this is why they put that shit in everything and make cookies out of this. Like, yeah, I would be celebrating the macadamia nut as well if I discovered it, you know? So, anyway, y'all, what's going on? How are you doing? What is the vibe? What is happening? What's up? How's life? I don't really feel like doing tarot tonight, to be honest. Hey, Dom. Um, I'm glad that y'all are here. I'm really very rarely ever bored, but I was like, it's super unproductive for me to talk to my stream. Thank you all for joining me. Because if I wanted to talk to myself, you know, I would just like not do it on stream. Yeah, y'all are awesome. Thanks for being night owls, late birds with me. Oh yeah, all the time. Not like all the time. It's not like something I constantly do, but very much I'll have a thought and will respond to it out loud. Sometimes I talk to other people out loud to make it very fucking clear, like with the universe or with them energetically, where like if someone is obsessively thinking about me, I will say out loud, like, then fucking stop thinking about me, or like, you know, whatever the equivalent retaliation would be, or whatever scenario in which I'd have to like back at someone. Um, that kind of thing. And then also, I don't know if I'm, you know, doing working on a song or something. If I get really deep into a project that I'm working on by myself, sometimes I'll sit there and be like, yo, that sounds dope. And it's just me and a computer. And I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Personally, I love it. You know, and I'm like talking, yeah, to myself. So, yeah, yeah. That was a really long way to just say, yeah, I sure do. Always have. I think you underestimate like how alone I am, but like never I rarely complain about being lonely. I'm just a very solitary person, and it can be very depressing more than it is lonely. Like I know what I'm missing. I know I'm missing something. I know, and I long to feel like I'm at home no matter where I am. There's like a longing that comes with being alone, but I'm very rarely ever lonely, and I think it's probably because I have a relationship with myself in the same way that because I have two Instagram pages, which you can follow, by the way, at ILMistax or at Illy Millie, just like which they have different content, but they both are, you know, always have an announcement whenever I'm going to stream so that you don't have to just guess as I'm guessing when I'm going to do it. Hence why I don't have a schedule. But, anyways, because I have two separate Instagram accounts with different content, I have two different feeds on my like following list or on my explore page. So I'll send myself content and just never leave myself on red. So if I send myself a reel or like a post or something, like I always react to it because like why would I leave myself on red? And then I'll send something back to myself and I just switch accounts and respond to the messages, and it's very wholesome. It feels good. It's like two different aspects of my personality getting to interact with each other, not just through me, but through a third party. And I love that. I love myself, I guess. Um and it's not even like two different monikers. It's just like it's the same personality in two different ways. It's kind of funny. But I find it to be very wholesome and very healing, quite honestly, to have such a deep relationship with myself. And I think it's also like because I've traveled so much alone and I am a writer, that it just comes naturally to me to have full blown dialogue or monologue in my head. Um, and saying it out loud is almost sometimes you have to hear how it sounds. Sometimes I'll notice too much time passes and I haven't said anything, so I'll just be like, "Goddamn, still sound like this," or whatever. Ah, God, I talked way too long about such a simple question of whether or not I talk to myself out loud. I started listing all the ways in which I talk to myself out loud. I don't think that was really supposed to be. Is that bad? I'm sorry. Like, should I be concerned? Is that weird? I am my own best friend. I don't know. I literally like that's why it's like if I talk to you, it's because I want to, and if I don't talk to you, it's because I don't really need to. Pretty much. Like, what do I need from anyone when I get it all from myself? Kind of fucked up. Maybe that's the true narcissism, right? It's like chaotically, statically independent, not necessarily completely. Yeah. I've always had a really strong sense of self. That's why I hear the jokes all the time about, "Oh, are you a millennial who like clung to what you like?" And there's like those TikTok audios of people like agreeing to it and be like, "You don't really know who you are," and now blah 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 all this stuff. And it's like, no, like what the fuck were y'all doing the past 15 years since you were teenagers? Like, what were you doing if not learning about yourself and who you are and becoming what you are today? I don't understand. What did y'all do? And then everybody wants to criticize me for not getting a degree and not having a real job and not doing this and that. But at least I'm not fucking miserable about who I am as a person. And some people think I should be because I don't have any of the successes and I don't have any of the wins. And it's not my fucking house and it's not my fucking kids and it's not my fucking car and it's not my fucking whatever, right? Okay, so at least I got me. You don't even know who you are, right? That was a weird time. I think it was like COVID is when they started to realize that they were like, whoa, now that I can't go do the things is when a lot of people said, who am I? And it wasn't exclusively millennials at the time. But I that's why some people I think thrived during that period is because they did know who they were and they were like excited to spend time with themselves. Yes, and okay, so that's I love that honestly because I've thought about that a lot. Okay, you want me to be really real about it? Because I actually really like the question and I like that topic, but it does involve some potentially illicit substances. I do live somewhere where it's legal, but um yeah, so okay. Being someone who always had a strong sense of identity, and I have since the beginning, like I was saying earlier, is like I knew, like for Halloween, I wanted to be something that I would want to wear when I grew up and got to choose the clothes I wore and didn't go to Catholic school or have parents anymore. I mean, I still have them, but they don't tell me what to do, right? So, um, the strong sense of identity and being Catholic or probably any type of creationalist Christian where you believe in creationalism, where God sees you fit and makes you and makes you in his image, right? So it's essentially saying the same thing about being starting as one being and becoming a version of that in our own extremities. Same concept with creationalism because it's God seeing you in his image, right? Which what does that even mean if God's not human? Okay, wait. Does the alien theory start to click when you really start breaking it all down? Where you're like, oh my God, she's got a good point. Because you listen to the religious rhetoric that has evolved so much and yet remained so prominent in the last 2,000 years that the things they say, if you put it in the context of things like extraterrestrial life forms, abductions, and outer space, it literally makes it make sense. Anywhere where you would doubt aliens, anywhere where you would doubt religion, if you combine the two, they cancel each other out, balance each other out, and solve the equation, literally. But that's not the point. So, this oneness can exist regardless of what you believe or what the oneness comes from. So, that's a concept that I think most people adhere to an extent, is to feel like they are a part of something bigger or greater. But I think the sense of individualism is different depending on how you perceive that view, right? So I, growing up Catholic, like I said, believe that God created each person, even if we were all created from God. Cool. Then me as a Buddhist, very brief period in like seventh grade, I read a couple books and I was like, oh, I don't know, you know. Um, I was really into it in the moment, and then went to a Buddhist temple at one point, and still into it. It just doesn't feel like my religion, you know. So Buddhist belief, it was sort of the same thing where I wasn't necessarily created by God, but something greater than God. And that was like that pinnacle moment where I recognized that there could be concepts beyond Christianity at all. That's okay. I know. That's why it's like I totally get that. And if you ever, I wish y'all could send voice clips on Twitch. That would be so fucking funny. I love sending voice clips with my friends, and I feel like it might get out of control too quickly if people did that. But if I could just give people the opportunity to send voice clips, if you subscribe, you can send voice clips while I'm streaming. I wish that that was a feature. Maybe we can make it happen. I say that with so much confidence and casualness, as if I know how to do anything on Twitch. Five, 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 five. Thanks for joining, by the way. Just doing the chat tonight. That's why we have the pink box, and the little turquoise box means we're doing actual tarot or channeled messages, but this is just philosophical and otherwise intimate chatting. Tarot related subjects, but not necessarily intrinsically. Okay. So that's very cool. I love that. So I'll keep going on my timeline. Like at that pivotal moment in my life, pivotal point in my life where I was like, okay, it could be anything. Right after that was my atheist era, where I was like, oh, it's all science, random, chaotic. There's no sentience behind anything, and there's barely any separation with us and animals and blah 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 blah. Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't want to ask how old you are because I feel like age is irrelevant, but I always like to ask people to know how far they are from their own releases in life, if that makes sense, or like what's been going on to kind of like get you to that point. I think is what I'm more or less asking, and age is usually a simple and concise way to ask it. By the way, y'all, a little bit of fucking peach clearly Canadian in a classic Coca-Cola. Oh my god. That is so fucking good. Okay, so good. I unconsciously switched the caps even though they're like totally different fucking materials. Um, that's great. Um, cause yeah, I mean the place I was at 5 years ago on my spiritual journey is radically different than where I am now. Mm, okay, we talked about this recently. Discord did not fucking work for me at all. I hated it. Hate the platform. Hate the setup. Hate everything. I hated Discord. I tried to use it for a couple months. Wasn't doing any good. Two people joined. Two people and two trolls that I had to ban joined my Discord, and then it just was a pain in my ass. It pops up, it opens every time you turn on the goddamn computer, fucking dings no matter how much you fucking try to change the notification settings. I just was not a fan of Discord. I do have my own website, and you can become a member, and I'm trying to get the forums running. They're up, but nobody wants to fucking post in them until I do, I think. There's like only really a dozen people that are members, but you can become a member today. It's free. All you got to do is give me like an email address and put a name so I know who you are, because I do have to ultimately manually approve anybody to join my website, which I think last night a couple people did, and I forgot to go manually approve them. And for that, I apologize. Yeah, that makes sense. I went to Catholic school, but I didn't really grow up in a Christian household, and I feel like I do always have to make that distinction because I know what actual Christians are like. Like, I was literally before you got here, I was talking about Seventh Heaven, and I was amazed that like they had 11 seasons. What the fuck? But we weren't like that kind of. We watched that show, but we didn't live like that. You know what I mean? Like, it was just crazy. So yeah. Um. Anyway, keep it moving down the line. And I switched. I basically went from atheism, being like a very science-based atheist. Oh no, I went to Catholic school. It was a show that we were allowed to talk about at school, so everybody watched it every week because other television was secular. But at home, we watched that 70s show and Futurama and The Simpsons as a family. So I wasn't actually living like a Christian, like Christians do. I just went to Catholic school, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to be able to talk about TV every Wednesday morning, the day after fucking Seventh Heaven, you just had to watch it. We were not allowed to fucking do anything else. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. That's what I was saying. Like, I haven't put enough love into the forums yet, but I'm encouraging people to sign up before I make it like more challenging to sign up, because eventually there will be a request form that you'll have to fill out, and I'll approve it based on that because I just want to make sure that I know the people. Well, I don't even know any of you. I just like go on vibes, but I want to like try to know people who are in there before anything gets out of control or whatever. Nice, thank you. Oh god. Um, yeah, so hi. How's it going? Anyways, we're talking about oneness still, Dom. I haven't forgotten. People think that I get really off topic, but I think I literally give so much detail so I can go back and reference it. It's part of being a writer, I think, is when you know you have to set up your story, but you want to do it in a way that's colorful, beautiful, and descriptive and immerses someone in the story when you also have the ability to pull them back out, tell them what you were already saying, and then be able to reference back that information that you started them with, basic foreshadowing, right? So, anyways, I started smoking weed and listening to Animal Collective in high school, post learning science for the first time in my life, because in Catholic school they were like making fun of evolution, so I like I didn't get the concept. So my world was fucking, it came crashing down when I learned biology for the first time, and I was an atheist. I was like, God wouldn't. And then never mind. So start smoking weed and listening to Animal Collective, and I'm like, all right, I think I'm agnostic, bro. Yeah, I think I'm agnostic. Then I started doing drugs, like real drugs, not just smoking weed, but like, trippy ones. I didn't really do the heavy stuff. I do the trippy stuff. Obviously, I've been preparing for this since my fucking first grade Halloween choice of costume, right? Again, I give you so much detail in the beginning so I can reference it later. Um, at that point is when concepts like universal consciousness or multiple deities or ancient religions and psychedelia, right? Shivas were going around for a long time, and those bad boys fucking, they were bad boys. Those Shivas fucking hit hard. Friday, May 13th, 2011. Yeah, some days you never forget. This fell down because I had it somewhere and then I moved it and I didn't retape it. I tried to reuse the tape. Never even taped the back of it. And look, a target. Is there a target on my back? Y'all really gonna shoot? Doubt it. It would be sloppy. It would be a mistake. You'd get nothing out of it except for chaos and pandemonium. Not to be cocky. You don't have to understand why God chose me to know that I'm chosen. That's something I fucking got, interpretation I got from a reading today. Amen. Amen. And I think it was supposed to be a mix of science and creationalism, and people decided to divide that. We're like, yeah, I agree that the separation of sky and sea still exists. We just didn't have to call it God, but ultimately, something created everything, right? So, drugs and drug culture definitely shaped some of my earlier views on the subject. And I think playing Mortal Kombat for my whole life and coming around to these ideas, like, I know it sounds silly, and I've kind of casually brought it up before and made jokes about Mortal Kombat being the basis of my religion. But the first thing I thought of when I was out there doing drugs and learning about, Hinduism and Buddhism and all the fucking transcendent, sort of higher sentient, multi deity religions that often are associated with psychedelic culture and vice versa. Um, Learning all about all that stuff, I kind of just immediately went back to Mortal Kombat. I was like, oh my God, same idea. There's multiple realms, dimensions, and why did my phone just light up? These notifications aren't even on for this. Um, Multiple dimensions and different species and different, having to defend your planet and your everything, like your realm. And I was like, yeah, that's conceptually kind of on point with everything else that I learned and believe. So, Mortal Kombat was sort of a good basis of the religious arc that I've evolved into for sure. It was a very, very important piece of my puzzle was to see that that was one of my earliest examples of whatever kind of formulation of religion that I practice now was Mortal Kombat. Yeah, something. So continuing on, like getting into the rabbit hole of psychedelics is it's not necessarily questionable, but I guess it's like questionable, right? Right? Like what it really is or like why you really see it or what is to believe. So some people who do it and have been there attribute it to the drug and like only associate it with the drug. And like that's fine. Do you. Other people, such as myself, such as a lot of of more of the think about Timothy Leary's missteps in psychology has evolved into people being able to legally administer ketamine. So there's probably a lot of psychologists who would agree that like the mind can do things that it can do on drugs if it can do them on drugs, right? One of my psychology professors brought that point up to me, and I agreed with him. That's what I'm saying. Where like clearly it's some kind of tool, I think, but it's not necessary. It's still very much up for debate whether or not that's true. So it's like questionable, but accurate. Um, there's so much to be explored too. Yeah. Everyone was fucked up at every point in history. It's just like it's too easy to get fucked up and we don't do anything. That's the thing. People were getting fucked up and writing like doc doctrines and shit and like books and like secrets like made up secret societies and shit. Now we get fucked up and get into fucking car accidents and stuff. Like what the fuck? You get fucked up and put it on the fucking internet and then the internet is just full of people fucked up and then you look up and everybody's fucked. It's like what even is that? It's like that's why I smoke weed while I do this, and I try not to smoke as much weed unless I absolutely need to because I'm like raging hormonal maniac. But other than that, it's like, yeah, definitely a spiritual experience. So funny that we kind of got on the subject. I don't really want to forget where I left off, but we do have to roll our ads in a minute. And there was something that we were talking about that made me want to go get it. There's some temples of India incense burning. Um, Damn, I was like, oh, I'll do that on my next ad break, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, because 'cause I'm cold, yeah. I'm gonna get a sweatshirt. But you know what? Look at this outfit real quick. Okay, me and my bestie would like to come up with themes of the day every day to, like, get dressed to, and today she was like, "Oh, I'm listening to Lucky by Britney Spears," and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna watch the video on silent for inspo," and she was like, that's cool, but I like the song," and I was like, "I like the song too, but I don't wanna cry right now." That song has triggered empathy in me since I was literally a child, heard it for the first time, and I remember back then being very, very moved, very emotional, and even crying about it, and everyone in my life said, "It's just a song, it's not real." Lo and behold, 20 fucking years later, it absolutely was real, but it's neither here nor there. So I thought, I don't know. Let me watch this new Sam Smith music video and see if there's some inspiration there because it's very controversial right now and very fabulous. So I was like, you know what? This is the inspo. Okay, so this is my fit. I don't even remember the name of the song. The new Sam Smith song that's pissing everybody off. I liked it a lot. I like pretty much everything Sam Smith does. Um, I love that he's just, or they, right? I love that they are becoming more flashy and more glamorous. I kind of hate toned down rich people. What the fuck are you doing with all that money, Ed Sheeran? You just like look like that? Okay. Cool. How much of an artist are you if you can't even fucking look the part? Like, Jesus. No, I shouldn't be coming for Ed Sheeran. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and I'd be like, "Aw," if I ever met him, I'd be like, "I was so wrong. He's so look at him. He's so aw." It's like the nice guy. Like, I don't give a fuck. So I love seeing Sam Smith take the route of becoming themselves and like being clear about it. That shit was so gay. It was so fire, and all the looks were totally served. And so I was like, this is my inspiration of the day. But I couldn't necessarily pick one outfit, so I kind of did conceptual layers of and one conceptual layers of the outfit. And if you've seen the music video, you'll know like which piece inspired. I'm showing you all this for a reason because I'm about to get the next part, and then you'll also, if you've seen the music video, you'll get it. But if not, I have to roll the ads in like a minute and a half, anyways, so you can watch. I should find the song, but you can watch the video while I'm gone. Because this is the fit. We got like the two-piece gold speckle. You know, this was for Lilu, the golden white Victorian era sweatsuit version. But then like he had or they had the carriage riding away, and then I gotta get the last part. Now that I'm really cold, it's time for the last installment of the outfit. But I wanted y'all to see it. I forgot to mention, yeah, Sam Smith inspired. So let me find you the song. I think it was a pretty good song too. I feel like I like all their songs. Like I don't think there's a Sam Smith song I've heard that I don't like. Not here to make friends. Yeah, me either. Me either. And I can't feel. I want to say they're an Aquarius. No, they're a Taurus. Yes, Taurus baddie, baby. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, okay. This is the music video. Y'all come watch it while I'm gone on an ad break. Yep. Here you go. Um, I don't like the song Unholy as much as I like a lot of their other music. What is the Gloria era? I don't know what that even means. I don't follow them enough. Or if this is. Unholy, I think I never even listened to the song. It just became a social media thing too quickly for me, and I was like, yeah, I can't do it anymore. Bummer. Classic Sam Smith though, like Disclosure with Latch. Got you. Okay, so I'm gonna have to listen to them more. Oh shit, yeah, I gotta roll the ads. I'll be right back. ASMR. I was eating hot chips, but I don't lie. So, has anyone on here seen the video? Yes or no? Please, quick, tell me. Before I do my second overview of the night. My second look from Sam Smith's new video, Not Here to Make Friends. Confirm, have you seen the video? Okay, you said rewatch. Lady, are you here? I'm really excited. Did everybody fall asleep? Okay, well, I guess I don't get a fucking grand, dramatic fucking entrance. You guys, thanks a lot. This was the this is my okay, perfect. Ready for my final look? I liked it a lot too. We'll talk about it in a second. Ready? Get it? You know, like at the beginning, I saw that and was like, yeah, I'm just gonna wear my comfy tonight. Literally put the video on, was like, that's the vibe. That's what I'm doing. But then I was like, okay, I have to wear something under the comfy, and it honestly gets so hot that I didn't want to start the evening off in it. So I played on other color schemes and stuff because I was like, I don't have any of these, but I got that. That's why I made y'all watch it. I was so excited. I was too excited. And it's also in like the first 30 seconds, but stream the video. It's an awesome video. And we love a controversial take for no reason. We love pointing out things that obviously shouldn't be controversial, that are, anyways. Um, what's up, y'all? How's it going? I think it's their them now. Well, yeah, and they may have felt awkward being on stage in front of a bunch of people who maybe perceive their art differently than they want it to be perceived, essentially. Um, Being in a setting like that where you're going to be way more comfortable on set with a bunch of people who build your costume and your looks and direct the video, and versus when you're like performing in front of a bunch of straight laced New Yorkers or wherever the fuck Saturday, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, Saturday Night Live references, etc. You know, so it was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. But I was at the stove over an open fire, cooking spaghetti to fill my heart's desire. When I heard something go bump in the night, I realized it was a cat who had a fright. But what was the fright? I had the cat. I had to find out where it was at. Traveled to the house, looked in every room twice, but I had a feeling something wasn't so nice. I ran through the halls, but nothing was there. So I ran back to the kitchen, put up my hair. I made my sauce to go on my spaghetti. And if it was a ghost, it was certainly petty. Because when I looked down, I saw on my floor that the Parmesan cheese had rolled out the door. It was all gone, and my world was shattered. And now, damn, I got all the way to the end. Why would I use a word like shattered? Scattered? The cheese was all scattered. There you go. My world was shattered. Lo and behold, the cheese was all scattered. I would gather it up, but it was no use. The kittens were faster than a caboose. I sighed and sat down with my plate of spaghetti and said, "Fine, ghost man, just come get me." So he finally came out and said, "Surprise, it's me. I just wanted a plate, you see. I see you cook here every night. Didn't mean to give you a fright. It smells so good in your kitchen. You're the one who is bewitching. Can I please have a plate of your spaghetti? Please, dear Miss Scapetti." That was Why did I just write that? It was about a fucking the fucking Nightmare Before Christmas. A ghost comes to eat your spaghetti. Like what the fuck? Put it out for Straganona so she keeps the fucking ghosts away from your house on Christmas Eve. Yeah, yeah. Don't forget to put out a fucking plate of spaghetti for Straganona on Christmas Eve so she keeps all the ghosts out trying to eat your Christmas spaghetti. You have to admit it was actually a really good story. That was entirely impromptu. As much as it may have looked like I was reading something, I was just really deep in thought. There is nothing giving spaghetti back here, except for that I had spaghetti for dinner and I was just still thinking about it and was like, oh yeah, story time. It's bedtime. No one's really saying much at this point. And just did a whole thing. God, that's really funny, and I'm insanely talented. Put it on the list. I'm in my douchebag era. Leave me alone. At least I know what to do with a vagina. That's so ironic because douching is not good for your vagina. It's way better for your asshole. So that's gotta tell you everything you know. Everything you need to know. Listen, I'm sorry I'm clowning a bit much tonight. Thank you. Scapetti. Well, men are insane. And when they get to make decisions, especially about like women's health and women or female health and female bodies, they try to convince them to do whatever it takes to be unnaturally clean, kempt, and good smelling, despite the fact that it's bad for you. So there is tons of vaginal douches. St. Eves or St. Ives? St. Eves would be a brand, but it's like, yeah, you're not really, it's like washing it out with fucking water, but it's a vagina. It washes itself out, and you just need a little bit of water. You don't actually have to go in there and gut it, you know? So I think it was like a bad take that you probably can still get them, but I don't know who the fuck would use them unless they're trying to literally clean something out of there, which sounds disgusting, even saying it out loud. And I think that we'll just stop there. Yeah. Oh, Summer's Eve. That's what it is. It's like, yeah, like name brand shit. You just go get one. Vinegar and water, extra cleansing. So maybe it's just like after something happens, you're like, ew, gotta get it out of me. But you're really not supposed to douche your vagina. No. Right. But like at least I understand anal douching because you're like, like making room. But in the vagina, it's like there's room in there, and if there's not room, just wait till there is, because like why? There's only like so like oh, is there a tampon in there? Don't need to douche that out. Let me just pull the string. If there's some blood, guess what? Even if you douche that out, there's gonna just be more in 30 seconds. So get over that too. Um, that's it. I mean, that's like the whole list. You don't like the other stuff? Maybe you're just yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I yeah, would never, have never, will never. Definitely. It's sad though, like I said, it's just like ignorant people make decisions and like put pressure on women to smell good at all times when it's like, what the fuck? Y'all literally laugh about not washing your balls and have dirty underwear, but you think a woman should smell good all the time, even though we're an entire ecological system? That's the most fucked up thing. And honestly, I'm so sorry that it does always come back to straight women are definitely the problem and the most at fault at the end of the day for the breakdown or the actual complications that arise in society. Because how else, who else, how would it have happened without straight women? Think about it for 2 seconds, and the answer is it wouldn't have. Yeah, no, it's sad. Think about any point in history when a man did something and you're like, who allowed that? Well, some woman accepted his ass, reproduced, built a life, like that's straight women are almost because without female validation, men get angry, but they also become rageful and less productive, and they might have secret societies or cults, but they very rarely reach majority, right? But men who do, Hitler wasn't fucking single, bro. Jim Jones was. I mean, he had like 70 wives, but that's because he was like, I don't really want to be with none of y'all. It's not that I would talk to him, but if I talked to any weirdos who murdered people, it would be him. I don't think I could cross that barrier, but I get this vibe that he's like, yeah, no. He was like, I don't want to live this life anymore. Call it crazy, dude. But Hitler had that fucking female validation. It's crazy. It's crazy. And like the fact that the women need the male validation, they don't care if they listen to Andrew Tate or think Hitler was a nice guy or whatever the fuck. As long as there's a man telling them good job, it's just like, you know, just think of a point in history. And then we have to think back in history, and it's always been who leading, finding, and carrying us through evolutions. Being able to say, no, actually, I'm not doing that. What the fuck have y'all been doing? And then y'all criticize them for not being able to keep their families together when they were the first, not the first, but they're the only group of people known to be able to stand up for themselves, and you somehow turned that into a bad thing. That if their fucking husbands, boyfriends, baby daddies didn't matter, if they were fucking up, they would leave them. How is that a bad thing? That's freedom. They know what to accept and they know what to walk away from. How did that become an insult? And like, how did we let that become a some kind of negative stereotype in our heads that meant it was their shortcoming for something? For what? That sounds like they chose themselves, and that's where not only did white women fail, but so many straight women fail. Yeah, of course you've had enough, but it's just because we were talking about vaginal douching. Why did vaginal douching ever exist? Because some woman decided to listen to a man tell her to clean her fucking junk out with a pump and water. Yeah, the minds of straight people everywhere. Wake up and smell the coffee, man. Kind of funny though. It's like not funny, but just brass tacks of it. something did go terribly wrong there. And it's not just that, it's just like because we were on this topic is why I decided to bring up that chain of events. And it's also fucking Black History Month. So happy Black History Month to everyone everywhere. I don't give a fuck who you are, but especially a happy Black History Month and a lovely time celebrating and enriching yourself in culture, history, and achievement, excellence, and anything else that you fancy this month if you are Black. And to everyone else, great. And for everyone else, fucking open up. Get ready. Eat something, okay? Like, shut up and, read. So, for sure. It's just, it's crazy to think. I mean, maybe I guess I was like just kind of bringing that up because one, it's February fucking 3rd, and I think I didn't even say anything yet, but also because that's, yeah, right. Yeah, that's exactly. I feel like that's why I was inspired to go on a tangent about that whole conversation of like, yeah, how like straight women totally fucked society by just letting men do whatever they want because they prioritize their own needs for male attention and validation and they did all of society, right? Because men without female validation or a woman behind them are statistically less successful throughout history, right? And then like the first group of women known to just straight up take no shit, of course, is Black women. And then the rest of the world decided that was somehow a negative trait or a negative quality or something wrong with them because they refused to be anything less than taken care of, anything less than respected, and anything less loved than they would get from people who were in situations that they had to be gangbanging or selling drugs because like that wasn't not always and still is not always a choice. And I hate that people just can't think about circumstance at all, or education. And I feel like it was even worse in the 80s because that's when they were set up to do that, to have guns and crack rocks, right? Like, come on, you're not gonna pretend like the Reagan administration didn't fucking invent a lifestyle that was replicated from other groups of people doing it before them, such as Jewish people or Italian people who now get away with it and act like it's classy because they wear suits and call it the mafia instead of a gang. Like, what the fuck is the same thing? So, yeah, yeah. Sometimes you have to just decolonize your mind. You have to understand I'm from a sundown town, right? I'm from a place that's still fucking openly racist. It's fucking terrifying to go back to. Like, is fucking even driving through it is like, oh my God. Like, it's scary. And it's not in the country, it's not rural. It's just some random suburb among many other suburbs, not that far from the city. And that's the scariest part is it's just right in the middle and it's the highest populated suburb in the area. Disgusting. So, when you grow up that way, you don't even realize any of these things are a problem, a thing, or of concern, or like wrong or incorrect in any way. Yeah. So it's not like I was born like this, nor was I raised to be hateful. I was just raised in a place that was breeding, implementing, and kind of loudly saying these things because I don't know. It's safe. So, you have to like deprogram yourself. You have to learn these things yourself. This isn't going to happen in a day for people, but it's also not the personal responsibility of anyone else to teach you these things. And honestly, I don't highly recommend bumbling about life, doing your best guess, and just kind of talking to people genuinely and honestly and potentially pissing them off, offending them, hurting them in some way, being straight up rude, or endangering yourself by being stupid like I did. I would not recommend that road. Just read a goddamn book, you know take the resources available to you rather than demanding someone output resources for you on such matters. Really, really wish I knew like why this is coming up so strongly. other than maybe there's some kind of like racist troll that's silently lurking on my fucking channel right now, or it's just Black History Month and there's someone that I'm like vaguely maybe channeling, or just like the general energy is like, well, you're not doing tarot, you're not really doing anything. The topic came up by proxy and we just went with it, but it does almost feel like I keep kind of doing this thing where I'm looking in one spot and then droning off about something, but what I'm saying sounds really on point and intelligible. That's probably a channeled message. Not that I can't sound intelligible, but if I sound intelligible and I'm looking at the camera or I'm in conversation with you, you know it's genuine. But if I'm looking the other way and it's coming out flawless, like I'm probably channeling someone. I just don't really know who. I don't know why Reggie Jackson's popping in my head, but I don't even know if that dude is dead or not, or who he is. The baseball guy? I don't think he's dead. Oh God, I hope he doesn't die. Please don't do this to me right now. Maybe there's something about him that needs to be said. Oh, he's a Taurus. Maybe this is just his day in Black History. Okay. Happy Reggie Jackson Day. The February 3rd or 4th. What should we say? 3rd or 4th. Where is he from? He's from Pennsylvania. What time is it in Pennsylvania? Slash, what day is it? Today, celebrate Reggie Jackson and everything that he did for baseball. What did he do for baseball? I don't know. Um, Apparently, I'm not allowed to know who I'm actually talking to, though. Maybe it wasn't a channeled message at all. Exactly. You shouldn't have to do it. You shouldn't have to put labor into it. I have seen your stuff. I like it too. Um, but it is, um, it's kind of like being who I am, being queer and I almost said disenfranchised for some reason, but I don't know what that would mean in this context. That's why I'm like, there's somewhat of a channeled message coming through. I just don't really know where it's coming from or why it's coming up. But who I am, even before I did this, was to just always speak up and speak the truth and ask questions to the point that I was regretting questions that I've asked. And that whole fucking stupid book I wrote was essentially because I was just like, well, why? Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? And you don't always want the answers to all those questions. Um, but if I wasn't always someone who spoke up, I don't think I would speak on these topics necessarily just because I'm an artist or just because I believe that or just because I'm on that journey of processing how deeply rooted and how fucked up like psychological warfare is, and recognizing that we're in the midst of it as much as other people are in the midst of physical warfare and physiological warfare, we're also dealing with psychological warfare. So I think that if I was the type of person who just kept to myself and kept quiet and never stood up for anyone or anything, I don't think it would feel as relevant to say stuff like this or to feel like I do have the time to educate people. So I think you should never have to go out of your way and change who you are. If you're not one to sit here and preach to people, then absolutely, why would it be your job to have to preach to people? But here I am, streaming philosopher, preacher status. Preacher, okay, the preacher, but like from season one, season two, episode four of the X Files, the preacher, like that kind of preacher, probably. Um, so it's a great episode. Stands out as one of my favorite episodes of X Files. But yeah, I think it's just it's dutiful for me, but it's existence for you. So absolutely do the job that you're meant to do. I'm meant to run my mouth. I think that's why I'm a white woman. I think that's why I was blessed with the gift of being born a white woman. Yes, I've suffered. Yes, I've been through things. Yes, I've been discriminated against for other reasons. Um, some of them in my control, some of them not. But I've gotten away with a ton of stuff and continue to. And I know that. That's why sometimes I'm like, fuck it. I'll risk it all. I'll look crazy and sound crazy if that's what it takes, to be honest, because that's part of the reason a lot of people don't talk about these things is because they're very concerned for their reputation. They're very concerned with how people associate them. And that's something, as a rogue, it's very easy to identify in the moment, very easy to assimilate to a situation. It's like if you can see any side or all sides, then you know how to decipher what the best side is. And that's to constantly state where you're standing and know that you could always be moving. That's true rogue energy, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. We have to roll ads soon. Not sure if we are on a topic. I got 4 minutes for till the next ad session. I feel like the conversation's flowing pretty good. I am not distracting myself with it. You lucky ducks. I'm also still deep in thought about a lot of what I'm doing. Um, so again, probably I'm not even probably. I'm just not doing tarot cards, but I'm down to talk about whatever. Couple channel messages will come through here and there, obviously. Um, we're in our comfy. We're in our Sam Smith era. We're Taurus Nation. No, I don't know. No, we're not. Most people on this channel are not Tauruses. Because if you got one good Taurus, you don't need any more. But if you have more than one good Taurus, you're just in for a great time and a great life. That's my take on that. I'm just kidding. Come on. I'm a douchebag, but I'm way better with vaginas than that. Listen, I'm going to roll the ads. I'll be right back. Okay, my friend. I'll probably just actually message you. Make it make more sense. That makes more sense. Because I just realized something. Um, Basically, I think I didn't approve. Oh, I got too sleepy to deal with this. We'll talk about it later. Just remind me if you're like, hey, what are you talking about after this street? You're not in trouble. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to figure out. Like, I don't, I like to be able to leave people to their anonymity that they get being on Twitch, where they're just mostly a screen name and an icon, unless they stream. So I don't want to put your information on blast, but it's trying to verify you basically. That's why it's like message me and remind me of that so that I can clear something up for myself. Um, yeah. Anyways, we were talking about some wild stuff like right before the ad break, so I don't know if we were going to resume that or do something else, speak on something else, but it is an anything goes kind of night because I am too fucking tired. It's too fucking cold. I don't feel like doing tarot. Right? I just am like chill and chilling, chilling, looking like a fucking cutie in my comfy or like a booba. No, you gotta get forehead in there. I have a big old booba forehead. Hold on, y'all. Check this out. Booba. You know what I'm talking about? Do they have noses? And then they go. Do they show their mouths? I can't remember. Okay. Anyway, that's the vibe. Sam Smith meets Booba. A Booba named Sam Smith. Yeah, okay. Do you think that if I get the song stuck in my head, the same song comes to mind almost not every time I stream, but randomly throughout my streams? And it almost seems like every stream, same song pops in my head. And a lot of times I say, no, I'm not singing that right now. And sometimes I sing it. And sometimes I don't say anything and I'm thinking it anyways. Or right now I'm going on an entire fucking tangent about it. And it makes me wonder if it pops in my head for a reason. I don't know why so many people just left. Something happened to my connection. Is it terrible? Should I have sang? I don't get it. Did they realize I was really not going to do any tarot tonight? Is that what it was? Yeah, now it's quiet. Seemed like, yeah, we were having engaged, intense conversation. And then I took a fucking ad break, came back, and was like, I don't know, man. And everyone else was like, I don't know either, bro. And left. It's so true. Thank you. And look who's still here. Appreciate you. Um, Love that. That's what I was saying as I was like, oh, we kind of left off on a pretty intense point, but it felt like a very succinct point where I didn't. I also like to tread carefully on topics like that, where it's like I know that I'm talking out of turn and speaking out of pocket. That was my whole point in addressing the fact that I'm well aware that I'm a white woman and get away with a lot, and all white women do. And no matter how fucking crazy I am, whatever. On a spiritual level, I'm very protected. On a physical level, probably a bit the same. Not to say I'm invincible or like untouchable or I always get out of everything because I absolutely fucking don't. I'm still insane and everybody knows it. But I do try to tread carefully on topics like that because it's like not always my place to speak on certain subjects, but I will always speak up what I think is right. And it's punk family values, bro. That's what it really comes out to. Yep. And that's why I want to change the subject and I will talk about Animal Collective. But then I was like, okay, let's wrap that up and just say that, yeah, down to talk about that stuff. But again, only if it does get brought up or it feels relevant or it comes as a message, because otherwise, it's usually just if there's a moment in which something needs to be said, I'll say it, right? But I know where my place is. And hopefully that means at a table with everybody. So, Animal Collective is one of my favorite bands. Have been listening to them since I was like literally 14 years old, which is just so beautiful because like there were 14-year-olds who didn't know who they were. There were 14-year-olds who existed before Animal Collective. So it's just such a pivotal time. It was the year Feels came out was my freshman year, and some dude, let's not even discuss it, let me borrow the album. Oh my god! So I really was like, wow, this is probably the first weirdest music I've ever heard. Um, and I loved it. So there's definitely some very strong affinity to their earlier albums. Absolutely. But there it like it does come down to the fact that like Meriwether Post Pavilion takes the cake. It's their best work. I think all their stuff after takes too long to get used to and it's still good. And I think the only thing that I've liked since Meriwether enough to like listen to more than once or at all, because like I didn't like today's Supernatural when it came out. It felt too intense. It was too much. It was like, man, what is this? But then I listen to it now and I fucking love that song. It's just it is still intense, but it does still have the same vibe as Animal Collective's always had. And the Man of Oil EP is good, but that's not the Animal Collective that I've ever liked. It's very on brand for what they do. I think it probably comes down to who's the lead and who writes what song is what I like, but I don't know who's who. I think I like Panda Bear's Animal Collective more than I like the collective, or like when I think I want to say Deacon kind of they all have their own solo, but the two of that go back and forth, Avi Tear and Panda Bear kind of go back and forth on being the lead, right? So I think I like Panda Bear, or maybe I have the opposite. I don't know where I don't resonate as much with like the two distinct styles of Animal Collective songs, right? And I think Meriwether Post Pavilion is the most cohesive, most collective. They made it in 30 days. They made it together. They were in lockdown, and you could hear it that they were on point and like with each other. And it's the most beautiful all the way through, consistent, holds up individually each song and as an album. It was the piece of the fucking. It was the era. It was their 10 year. Spirit they've gone, spirit they vanished. Maybe that's why my album sounds horrendous. But that's another fucking. It's technically an EP or yeah, it's technically an EP, right? Not an LP. But 10 years later, they make Meriwether. Is it? You're kidding, right? Totally different sound though. But I was like, dude, Animal Collective in 1999, holy fuck. But then seeing them 10 years later making Meriwether, insane. The progress. All that being said, is Strawberry Jam my favorite album? Because it might be. It might be. And what is the album with On Delay, Vertical, kind of bonkers? I love that album too, and I don't even know what it's called. That's the only new Animal Collect. That's the newest one that I like as much as I like Merryweather. Is um whatever the one that is, but their fucking album covers never have anything the fuck on them. Painting with, yeah, no wonder I didn't remember the name. I didn't even listen to Time Skiffs. Love Sung Tongs. Strawberry Jams is a runner for a favorite. Feels is as high as Sung Tongs. Love them both so much, but not as much as Strawberry Jam and Merriweather and Painting With. Amazing. Centipede, that was the movie, right? The movie soundtrack, or no? That was today's Supernatural. Never listened to that album. Spirit They've Gone is 2000. I thought it was 1999. That doesn't sound right, but okay, that's fine. 100% love it. Here Comes the Indian. I don't know if I know this one, but I've probably heard a lot of the songs off of it, and I'll look at it and go, "Oh yeah, okay," because this is old as fuck. Um, yeah, I know a couple of these songs. Native Bell. I want to say Too Soon and Panic, right? But I don't think I've heard this all the way through, so I'd have to listen to that. Tangerine Reef, once again, really didn't get into it. Couldn't get into it. Tried to watch the thing. Ballet Slippers, have not heard this. Oh, because it's the live. Not that good. I've heard some of the like I've seen them live a few times and it was an amazing show, but those recordings do not sound that good to me. Like same. There is a Deacon song I really like, Just Am. That one's really good. Um, Hollandagen? Don't think I know this one. There's an Arrow stands out. But yeah, no, I'd have to go deeper. I miss this era in the middle here. In 2002, 2003, they put out so many EPs in that time. I didn't even realize. Um, Animal Crack Box. What the fuck? Oh, it's live. Um, Live at 9:30. God, I love them. I love them so much. Fuck. Oh, Meeting of the Waters is the Man of Oil EP, right? It's really good. It's really pretty. I listened to it all the way through, but it just like didn't hold me for some reason. A lot of them don't. Not a lot of them, but like I just told you what I liked, and then stuff I haven't really didn't even realize I haven't heard um, from way back when. So I probably will like it. It it's tough to follow up MPP because yeah, it is the perfect album, but also they did a good job. I think it just wasn't for me. I love that I just ran through that. I have to listen to some of their old stuff because I probably like it. But yeah, I think those are my top three albums would be Strawberry Jam, Meriwether Post Pavilion, and Painting with easily. I can't get over like, dude, kind of bonkers and Golden Gal and fucking On Delay and Vertical alone is like, yeah, I don't think I like that many songs that much on any of their other albums. Song Tongs is good, and We Tigers and Winter's Love are like two of my favorite Animal Collective songs ever, of course. They're like two of their best songs, but I don't think Song Tongs holds up across the board as much or enough to be a contender for top three, but top five. Yeah, no, wow. Yesterday everyone on my channel was like, I'm autistic. And then everyone else was like, I'm also autistic. And everyone else was like, I'm also autistic. And I'm like, yeah, I feel that. I don't know. Nobody ever diagnosed me that way, but they diagnose me all the time. I just stopped getting diagnosed with things. But then I just talked about Animal Collective for so long and realized like how into it I was and how much further I could go. Like the Odd Sack era that went along with Meriwether Post Pavilion and some of those music videos being so beyond trippy that it got to the point where it was like mind fuckery, but it was joyful and they like really expressed their inner child during a time period in my life that I was doing drugs for the first time. It was a very beautiful experience. I think because I got to live through Merriweather Post Pavilion is why it was as good to me as it is, but also the production is insanely good, especially watching the evolution and hearing how it progressed. I think they did good following it up. I think it's just like when you make that album. It's the same like Kendrick really radically different when it comes to music genres. I get that. But Kendrick Lamar, his career kind of reminds me a lot of Animal Collectives, and it might be typical of most bands or groups or artists or musicians or whatever, right? But he has a very similar catalog where everything's good. There's a ton of his music I don't even know about, but Mad City, Section 80, all his old stuff, Like think about how long ago Kendrick Lamar put out Mad City. And then think about how long ago he put out Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. Doesn't feel that old. But then think about when To Pimp a Butterfly came out. And that is to me, his Merriweather Post Pavilion, his fucking pinnacle album. his follow-up albums, amazing, way more easier to listen to in a sense, and people probably liked those more because it was less collabs and it was less theatrical. Damn, and then the new one was back to the vibe of um, To Pimp a Butterfly, but it was less collaborative, right? But also less funky. It was equal amount theatrics, but like less funk, literally. Um, and so you see a very similar pattern, I think, in Kendrick Lamar's albums as you do with Animal Collective, because he does pair the music videos and do the extended play. The artistry behind it makes the short films and stuff. Because isn't there a 10-minute version of All Right? Like, yeah, it's very much, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I feel like it's like obvious. It sometimes feels like everyone on the internet is autistic because autistic people have a really hard time in person and oftentimes prefer the internet. And I think that's very true, probably of all of us. Um, but like it extends so far beyond that because the internet's gotten out of control. But it depends on how you're using it. That's why we use it to socially interact with one another, and neurotypical people probably use it just to as almost like memories or like advertisement, you know. Um, I saw Odd Sex so long ago, but like I never really could comfortably sit through it. I've seen so much of it, but I don't even know if I've ever sat through the whole thing because I was like, I can't do it, you guys. Like I said, it was like uncomfortable inner child stuff, and I just don't think I was that quite at that point where I wanted to enact my inner child, not address its wounds. Because I was like 19, you know what I mean? Like greatness. Um, That's what I'm saying. I didn't connect with the Mr. Morale as much, but I thought it was equally good. It's the same thing with Animal Collective. But like, no, of course it's not Meriwether Post Pavilion, but like also I won't have an attachment to it like I have the attachment to Meriwether Post Pavilion. Feel the same way with To Pimp a Butterfly, where it was a very pivotal moment in the timeline rather than in my life. So like experiencing the era of Animal Collective that was the sort of like reinvention of the psychedelic movement in 2009 on, you know, until even now it feels like it is maybe even a third wave. Well, not necessarily. This would still be the same wave, right? But seeing these major shifts, there was a big turning point in 2015, 2016 when it came to the conversations people were having now that we were all connected to one another and realizing that we could branch out outside of the people we knew in within internet communities or sanctions, right? So even though it felt like more personal to exist through a time with Merriweather, it's like historical to live through the time of To Pimp a Butterfly. Like that was it was still provocative even in 2016. Like this dick ain't free, you know? He fucking threw Uncle Sam in there, bro. Like that shit was controversial as fuck. Putting that interview with Tupac, absolutely, absolutely was a historical moment. So different perspectives, but definitely two of the best albums ever. I think not they are probably two of my favorite, but I think favorites change so much that I think those are two of the best albums ever made. If I had to make a list right now, which I might as well just write it down. Okay, unless I didn't bring a pen. I have a marker and it seems so permanent. Albums that I think are just like the fucking best. Meriwether Post Pavilion and To Pimp a Butterfly and Hounds of Love are the only three on the list right now. But I'm gonna write them down just so it's on record that I feel this way, even though it's in the stream. Because Hounds of Love is really good, and then I do like a lot of Kate Bush's music. And I was listening to the Kick Inside today, and Um, I do really like a lot of tracks. Um, that's what I'm saying. That was a hot take. That was a controversial move. That was like, what the fuck, bro? I would also like to add that if you had to describe my personality in 3 albums, it's these for sure. I'm Merryweather Post Pavilion Sun, The Pimp a Butterfly Moon, Hounds of Love Rising. Yeah, that actually is my aesthetic for sure. I love that. That's really inspiring, even. Um, when I was a child, running in the night, afraid what might be, hiding in the dark, hiding in the street. You know, I think I might just go listen to music and get some shit done that I was should have done or was gonna do in the day. I'm very inspired now. Thank you for this topic and conversation. Sorry for the other lurkers who are here. I appreciate your company, but it feels like it can't be the move. It's the move. I was gonna, like I said earlier, I was gonna like go on the art category and stream some art. That sounds cool. I think I'll look. I'll probably look her up. I've never heard of her. And listen to her entire discography and then get back to you on whether or not this that I would agree. Matt Berry's another fun one that I feel like I've listened to his whole discography, and I think his Merriweather Post Pavilion is probably Kill the Wolf. I think you'd have to give it to Kill the Wolf because it has Medicine and Solstice. No, yeah, Solstice and October Sun and like all the good jams. He like really, really nailed down what he was doing at the time. But my favorite is probably Witch Hazel still or Opium, straight up. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. So now we gave each other music recommendations too. I fucking love that. And since we're talking, I'll just message you too about the thing to clear up. So yeah, I think I'm gonna roll some ads and then probably end the stream, but I'll come back and see if I'm dedicated to the idea. But it is kind of a quiet, sleepy night, and I really want to focus on other stuff and thought I'd be able to multitask better than I could tonight. Where usually I can draw and talk and stream or whatever, but I'm like, I'm a little too low functioning, a little too drained, a little too sleepy. What was that? Did you hear my voice? Where I just don't give a shit. I just do not give a shit today. I find it the least exhausting to channel dead people than anything else I do on the stream. Simple. I don't know what that's about. So yeah, I'm gonna roll the ads. I'll see you in 3 minutes. Probably just say goodnight, honestly. Sorry. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna get some stuff done. I think I have really weird operating hours and it's kind of strange. I usually like to get started earlier in my evening, and today I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be numb and mindless for several hours before I commit to anything. Yeah, that's the advantage of working for yourself and otherwise freelancing activities because you get that kind of grace. And as someone who's greatly affected by PMDD in a variety of ways throughout the month, it is absolutely a necessity to my health, sanity, and actual life for me to be able to just say, hey, I move too much right now. Am I going to go aggro on somebody? Yeah, I should sit down and be quiet, you know? And that's why sometimes it can take me several hours to like load up, load in, and I won't last as long either. Where it's like, okay. You would think that it's like, oh, well, you streamed for so long the past couple days, but it's not always that because sometimes I'll stream that long for days on end, and I'm like, damn, I should probably not stream, but you know what? I just want to keep streaming, and then all the other stuff goes to the wayside, and then I get to this week in my cycle, and it's like, yeah, I usually don't past the 2 3 hour mark. So here I am doing that. I also noticed people don't listen to the shorter streams replay as much, which I thought was so weird. Unless people literally just put me on to sleep to me, even when they replay it. I don't know, which is fine. If you want your subconscious to hear it, I feel like that's what I'm really talking to anyway. I don't know. You guys are like forcing me to be a fucking cult leader, then whatever. Sleep to my fucking nonsense, I guess. You trust me in your head. That's your choice, man. And then people want to sit here and say I'm manipulative. It's like, what? I just gave you the option to consume me. You chose to consume me. Ah, sorry, it consumed you. I'm a vortex. You should have known that walking into the room. Okay, I joke, I kid. I fuck with you. Anyways, my loves, my darlings, my dear ones. Ah, I love that. And I'm definitely not streaming tomorrow. I think I'm just going to have Saturdays off at least for a while. I think it's a good day to have off. You know, it's a free for all. I love that. It's a day off of everything. On my days off during the week, I'm just doing other things. Um, but Saturdays are for fun. So I'll be having fun tomorrow, today, whatever time zone you're in. And then Sunday, I most likely will be back again. Perhaps also Monday, will also be back again. And then, you know, we'll continue the week, see where we get. If I'm not back Monday, it's because something happened, not super tragic, but just like unfortunate, like uncomfortable or otherwise. Probably most likely uncomfortable, but honestly, it should be fine. So, you can know. No, I can let you know. Sorry, I was like, you can let me know what? No, I can let you know. If you follow my Instagram at Millie Millie or at ILMistags, I always post when I'm going to stream. I'm sorry, I can't post on Twitch. If there is a way to post on Twitch besides committing to a schedule, let me know. I guess I could start scheduling a time once I pick a day. Thank you. Best Vortex. That's a great review. Will you leave me that review? I gotta start collecting those. It's amazing. I love you all so much. Like I said, stick around for updates. If there's a way to update on Twitch besides the schedule, but maybe I'll start picking the time the day of the streams if that's helpful for people. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go. I can play more ads, so I'm gonna be evil and do it. Gotta love corporatism. See ya, fools. Just kidding. Fucking love fool, maybe. You know, like that song by the Cardigans. Love me, say that you love me, you know. Anyways, I'm rolling ads and then actually saying goodnight. I had to decide, and it is time. But then they were like, "Hey, do you want to roll more ads?" And I'm like, "All right, I guess I want to get paid." And so did everybody else. So here we go. Check it out, y'all. It's 2:22 on the time. It's the perfect time for me to go. So just came back to say good night, good luck, and best to ya. We'll see you on the next one.